What's going on, people? It's your boy D Davis, Mr. AKA Mr. 360, Mr. AKA. I don't know if that flows. I don't think that flows too well. Anyway, it's sports talk and bull stuff. Back at it again. Talking about LeBron James and his Olympic MVP. And should LeBron James be the Olympic MVP over Steph Curry? I don't think. First of all, this whole Olympic MVP is cat straight off the top because I feel that they created this in 2024 just to give it to LeBron. Like I I'm on social media, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter last night, and I'm seeing by these goofballs like how all his accolades cement him to being the greatest of all time. And I'm like, they count they're counting that in season tournament, they count his MVP and his the championship from the in season tournament and the Olympic gold medal. I mean, and the Olympic MVP. And then I was on Twitter last night, and one of these sites they come off talking about LeBron. I guess joins this list. Somebody joined this list. Steph Curry joined this list of players who have won an NBA title, been an NBA MVP, Finals MVP, and a gold medalist. So I guess he joins those players, and it was Larry, Mike, Magic, LeBron, KD, uh, somebody else, maybe Wade, Kobe, one of them, Shaq, and a couple of them players. And I'm like, didn't Bill Russell do that like in the 50s or 60s? Like, wasn't he a gold medalist? And he did all that stuff. Like, this is crazy what's going on and in sports right now, but specifically the NBA, because they're going out of their way to just make shit up and create new things and new categories and just forgetting the past. Like Bill Russell and Wilt, they didn't exist. They weren't gold medalists, and Coolsey and them and Elgin Baylor and them. Like they didn't do anything. Like it's crazy what's going on. And LeBron, dude, looking old as shit now. Dude is really looking old as shit. Like not game wise, but in the face. He grayer than me all of a sudden. Dude looking old. I'm looking at his eyes. I'm like, brother, get some sleep. I don't know if LeBron is trying to. He probably had all the Beijing and all that stuff to make him look younger than what he really is. Like LeBron almost 40, and up until recently, he wasn't looking like how he was looking out there the last couple games. Like he told the barber, like, I don't want it. You ain't got to put the oil on my face. You ain't got to put the black dye on me. Nah, I'm just gonna show who I am right now. I think that's crazy. But going back to if LeBron should be the MVP, something they just started. Like they, when people hear people talk about LeBron and we say that they do things to boost his value or his stock or his credibility or his goat status, like they think people were just talking crazy, and and you would think that it. I think a lot of people like who don't know a lot about stuff, a lot about anything, like why would the Olympics go out of their way to create something for LeBron? Why would they do that? Why would the international governing body go out of their way to do things for the USA or for LeBron? Like, why would they create things for LeBron? And that's a great question. Why would they do things for a specific player? But a lot of things are done for agendas. And right now, the agenda, the narrative that has gone out is that LeBron is the GOAT basketball player. And because LeBron is the GOAT basketball player, everything that he does outside of basketball or his opinions or and thoughts uh, on things matter and they carry weight. And actually, in reality, LeBron is a phenomenal player, basketball player, and just leave it at that because he has misguided and misled the masses astray. And because of his prominence that he's given by the media, for some strange reason, I don't know if it's Nike, I know it's Nike, but there's other things at play which have to make LeBron this figure, which he has become over the last 20 years, where it's LeBron or die for most folks. Like, but going back to the Olympics and the international governing body of the Olympics and sports, I don't know all that stuff. But why would they create things just for this one player? Well, the international governing body is an extension of whoever's paying them. Simple. So if Nike is paying the Olympic governing body, or if Nike is sponsoring the Olympics, or Nike has invested big money in that, then they're going to do whatever the sponsors are paying them to do. He who pays the piper calls the tune. So if Nike wants to continue this elevation of LeBron, then that's what it is. So simple why the Olympic governing body, international Olympic body, would create things out of thin air to appease one player, one fan base, because the Olympics have been going on for I don't know how long in its current form, and we've never had a basketball MVP because it's a team sport. These are team sports, and I thought at the heart of the Olympics was the emphasis and the value on the team. So why now do we have an MVP? And why is LeBron even the MVP? I know LeBron has put up good numbers in the Olympics, but I think it's easy to put up good numbers when the offense has been tailored to LeBron. Because I'm watching the games and I'm like, am I watching the Cleveland USA team? Am I watching the LA Lakers US team? Because when I see LeBron as the primary ball handler and distributor of the ball, it's easy for him to rack up the assists when that style of play is not really conducive to efficient and effective uh, basketball results, as we can see with the 4-6 finals record. Um, but this goes on Kerr as well, because and Kerr I think has been catching some flack from his coaching for his coaching, a lot of stuff that he's been doing. And I look directly at the offense because it's just centered upon LeBron being the dominant ball handler, ball distributor, and that slows up the offense for everybody else. Like there are other all NBA players on that team, and I don't know if they were able to get their shine off like LeBron was. I mean, because it's tailored for LeBron. The offense has been custom made for LeBron. And as you could see in earlier games, I think people struggled. You know, Curry struggled. KD was coming off of an injury, and he got into it, and he carried the U.S. in one of those games. Uh, and Curry carried the U.S. Um, against Serbia because they was getting smoked against Serbia, and Curry was keeping them in, and saw what he did against France. You know, Curry did his thing out there, and Stephen Curry was the separating factor or the defining factor for the U.S. in both those two games because if not, the U.S. is playing in that bronze game. And if Steph doesn't go off the way he did yesterday, they might be coming home with the silver. So that speaks to another point as well. Uh, Besides the whole LeBron MVP and the boosting of his GOAT status that they're doing right now, or that they've been doing for the last 15 years, um, is the elevation of this so-called era that we have now. I mean, the era that we have now, but the emphasis that these athletes are the best athletes ever, and the evolution of the game has made these athletes and these players so much better than the players of the past. And when you look at the games, they really don't show that. Once they were pitted against Serbia or against the better teams, even the teams that they struggled against, South Sudan, like how much better are these players? I don't know. I look at videos from different people, and the skills that existed uh, 20 years ago, they're not there anymore. The fundamentals that existed 20 years ago aren't there anymore. And as we clearly see with the loosening of the rules, how the games are officiated these days, the it's a soft league right now. All these ticky tack fouls. The U.S. team went over there yesterday, and not yesterday, but in the Olympics for the last what, since 08, 04? That's 20 years. Since 04, the style of play has been frustrating for the men's team, and it has only gotten worse as the years go by because it's becoming softer in the NBA, and they was letting them play. They were letting them play, and all that posturing and all that stuff from LeBron and all that flexing and stuff. I mean, it looked good, but you're also one of the bigger guys on the court. So you being built like a tank and running over people who are obviously smaller than you, either shorter or lighter or weaker, you doing that to people uh, who are not your size doesn't. It shows how weak you are when you're flexing about it. Run over people your same size. Be brolic with people bigger than you. When you do things like that, people will actually respect you. But you don't do any of that stuff. So real NBA fans, they acknowledge your game for what it is, but there's no respect for real hoopers. I mean, the fans, the stands, they gon' fan and stand on because that's what fans and stands do. But for the real NBA heads who love competition and respect competition, um, it ain't a lot for LeBron, and quite frankly, the way Kevin Durant was carrying on the other day, and going at the fans and everything, like I get there's a level of frustration because I guess when you get to that level of fame, you're you expect everyone to just love you and worship the ground that you walk on simply because you're good at playing a child's game. Just because you're very good at putting a ball into a hoop, dribbling a ball around like children do during lunchtime or during recess. You, Kevin Durant, other people like you, the LeBrons out there, you know, when people aren't blowing you and throwing out flowers for you, you get upset about that. And that's another reason why I think a lot of fans were rooting against the US team. Quite frankly, like they can come with all this, the Denver fans and people love Russia or whatever they were trying to say, whatever people were trying to say, like, there's a lot of basketball fans who don't like LeBron, just straight up. They're tired of LeBron, and him being the face of everything in basketball, and him just the narrative around him that he's the GOAT, greatest of all time. Where when the narrative isn't matching the the eye test, so people tired of that, and they tired of him being pushed down everybody's throats. They're tired of this whole woke agenda being pushed down everybody's throats, and the people who say what you will about uh, American values and patriotism and things like that, because a lot of that's just talk and things to rally the troops and all that. People that were 3-4 years ago just actively against the U.S. and talk crazy about the U.S. and America, you expect them to rally around those people now and forget what was said and what transpired. People remember LaChina and how he walked things back, and how he sucked the teat of the corporate interests in Nike. People are becoming more aware of what's going on, and the simple fact that the people, the masses, haven't betrayed America. It's the people that they put on TV themselves and pop in front of our face and tell us they're great and they're this and that. They're the ones who have sold out. Play the old Benedict Arnold to the people. These are the people that they prop in our face. Give Olympic MVP awards to, and in season awards to. Yeah, those same people, the one are misleading you, misdirecting you, having you well, you do it to yourself because you idolize people who should not be idolized. You have a favorite, this and that, but when you start idolizing people, that's that's commandment number one. No idols. And we're not just talking about golden calves and moons and stars and suns and all that stuff. We're talking about fallen stars or Hollywood stars or basketball stars or movie stars. Anything that you, anything or anyone that you invest so much of yourself into that you cannot accept blatant truths about, you've just become a mark. and you are an idolater. That's what you are. So to bring things back to what I started the video with, should LeBron have been the MVP of the Olympics? I don't think so. I don't think that there should have been an MVP to begin with. But I explained why there is an MVP to begin with, because the corporate interests that sponsor the Olympics and were heavily invested in LeBron being the face of this and that, they wanted him to be the MVP or wanted an MVP to exist. Now, if you want an MVP to exist for a certain player, I guess there's an expectation that the player is going to, or the team, that the team is going to win gold, which that's another rabbit hole that you can get into. I'm not going to go there. No, that's not my expertise. But but one could go there. One could find those channels that talk about funny things that happen in sports. But shout out to Steph Curry. I think he carried the men's Olympic team, basketball team when it mattered the most. Um, he was cold, absolutely cold, and you know, there's a certain respect that you can, or admiration that you can have for that, for Steph's ability to create shots, make shots, and absolutely just shoot the ball. Like that's a that's an unbelievable skill. It takes unbelievable just body control and uh, strength in your legs and dexterity. That's a Walt Frazier. That's an old Walt Frazier, Clyde Walt Frazier word. Dexterity, um, that you need to have the strength, core muscle, the control. I mean, Steph is a nepo baby, so you learn it from the best. But Whitlock said this thing. Jason Whitlock. I watched Jason Whitlock, and he said something that it was very interesting to me. I don't. He said that if Steph Curry, if the rules of the NBA were the same as they were in the 90s, he said Steph Curry would just be Dale Curry. And I said, I thought, that's interesting. I think Steph he's one of those players that has changed the game, because there's not a lot of LeBrons out there, like 6'9" people with um, skill and body control, and the NBA has changed things so that LeBron can be who he is and just run over people and lower his shoulder and all that. Because LeBron James and Karl Malone are essentially the same body type, same height, same. I mean, Karl Malone bigger, a lot bigger than LeBron James. But if the rules in the 90s were what they are now, why wouldn't Karl Malone just be able to do what LeBron James does? Just lower his shoulder and run over people. I mean, I'm taking away from LeBron James. He's a really good passer, um, very good passer, as good court vision, but a lot of these players today, uh, they are they are benefiting from the rules of the game that has made it easier for offensive players to score. Um, Damn near every move is a travel or carry. Um, the Euro step, a lot of them Euro steps just travels. That James Harden side step, travel. Uh, it's a lot that has been taken away from the game of basketball that has exposed NBA players when it comes to the Olympics because they're not doing or they're not allowing a lot of the bullshit that they allow in the NBA in these international games. It's a lot more physical. They're calling travels, calling carries. You can't get away with the bullshit. So, for as great as this USA team was supposed to be, they can uh, beat the '92 Dream Team and beat the '96 Dream Team and the 2000 Dream Team, and they're better than the Redeem Team. Let me tell you something. 92 gonna smoke them. 96 gonna smoke them. 2000 gonna smoke them. That 2014, that team was horribly constructed. I remember at the time, like it was just a lot of they was a lot of like Larry Brown hate, and Larry Brown had a vision for the team, and whoever was constructing the team, like it just didn't flow, just wasn't jiving. But I ain't gonna say that team could beat the could beat this team, but man, a lot of this stuff is just smoke and mirrors. These players ain't who the media is propping them up to be. They're great players for their time, but when we talk about all-time NBA greats, I don't think these players stack up to those all-time NBA greats. Um, and I got LeBron at the bottom of my top 10. He, I don't care what all these accolades they say he got and all this. The more I start thinking about it, LeBron gonna be outside of my top 10. The more I start thinking about it, because the NBA, I ain't gonna cut you. The NBA, the NBA is tearing down the past. They're doing the exact same thing that the the radical left is doing to the statues, um, and they're putting this heavy emphasis on the modern era, and they're doing it. They're doing that to its own demise and its own destruction because the the fan base who actually has money and who can go out and go to an NBA game or buy one of those NBA packages on from the NBA network or however way you watch NBA Pass. Once they stop paying and investing in the product, the fans have clearly shown that they don't want to watch. They've stopped watching, partly due to social media's influence and effect on the basketball landscape because you can just watch a 10-minute clip on your phone of the game and know the game, know the who won. You can go check the stats and who balled out, who didn't. So there's not a major emphasis on watching the players play the game. And the way that the NBA players have conducted themselves over the last 5 years, some longer, it has alienated. I don't know if alienated is the right word, but has turned off uh, fans of the product. So the NBA is in a bad shape, but that's another discussion because I'm talking about the Olympics right now. But the two are intertwined and connected because the NBA fan base is either going to watch the Olympics or not watch the Olympics. And if the NBA fan base has feels that the NBA players and the owners and teams uh, are in some way against them or hostile towards them, then they're going to have anti-USA men's basketball sentiments. And luckily for the U.S. men's team, they are they are talented enough to win gold because this is essentially an all-star team, NBA all NBA team, essentially. So they should beat the other countries in a sport that this country dominates. Winning gold for the USA men's team, that isn't that big of an accomplishment. It's an expectation. So, will I praise and salute and blow the trumpet of LeBron James because he's the Olympic MVP, gold medalist? No, I absolutely will not. And what I and what many people think is that undeserving he's an undeserving recipient of the MVP. But I think what this says is that maybe Steph Curry himself is or has been the recipient or has been placed in the shadow within LeBron's media hype because LeBron, even though this has been LeBron's era, or from 2010 to now, Steph Curry has 4 championships, all on the same team, didn't leave anybody. People came to him. Kevin Durant went to Golden State. Curry has, I think, a Finals MVP. He has 2 league MVPs, one unanimous. Whose era is it really? They just robbed a U.S. I mean, an Olympic MVP from Curry because it's easy to stack stats when the team's offense is centered around one player. That's easy to accumulate stats. But how efficient and how effective was that team's basketball? Now, this is either the most talented assortment and collection of NBA players that we've ever seen, according to the TV. It's either that or they're not that talented and they're not what the media says they are, or the style of play that the Cleveland, the LA, the US men's team chose to play in was not conducive to demolishing supposedly weaker, uh, inferior competition. What seems more likely to you? Is it a combination of all three? Is the 2024 U.S. men's team a product of media hype? Are they a product of media hype and not being as good as what the media says they are? And or it's the style of play where letting one person dominate the offense of a team game. Is that not conducive to team success? I don't know. I'm just a lifelong basketball fan, watches the game, sees what happens. I'm pointing to my TV. That watches the game, sees what happens. I just kind of know a little bit about basketball, a little bit about offense, a little bit about defense, just by watching. But this is sports talk and bull stuff. I didn't mean to go this long, but I went this long. I don't know how long this is because I can't see the time. But hopefully you got some valuable information on uh, basketball, LeBron, the Olympics, uh, NBA. My thoughts on the whole thing. Um, I just wanted to make a short about LeBron being old or looking old, looking very old, because I'm older than LeBron. But I just wanted to make a quick little short about LeBron looking very old, looking like he always looked. How LeBron look? Because LeBron looked like he looked like an old teenager when he he first joined the league. Now he looking like he would have looked. LeBron been doing a lot of cosmetic stuff. He must got some good makeup. Just be sweating and your foundation just stay on. That's good makeup. Good makeup. LeBron has an excellent team. He has excellent people to supply him with what they supply him with to make him strong and make him run so fast and recover so quickly at such an old age. It's remarkable, quite remarkable. For somebody to seemingly not slow down, even though his play has slowed down a lot because he just don't play defense. He's saving it all for offense, but it's quite remarkable. So LeBron got stuff with the inside of the body and the outside of the body, all that. I don't think maybe it's tallow. Could be tallow. Who knows? Maybe you say I'm not going to use the tallow today. But this is I'm just going on and on. This is sports talking bull stuff. D Davis, Mr. 360 himself. Um, like, share, subscribe, comment. If you don't like what I'm saying, it's all right. It's cool. It's life. I ain't gonna trip. I am not a tripper. I'm just existing. But if you come with some nonsense, expect smoke to the highest degree. Sports talking bull stuff out.